want to welcome everyone who is watching our third episode of Soul Dialogues. My name is Patricia Lindner. I am a soul artist. I am an intuitive empowerment coach and creative healer. I am working with body, mind, and soul. And I am so honored and so happy that today I have a wonderful guest. Her name is Hritika, and she is a great artist from India. She is today with us to celebrate Mental Health Day, and this was her wish to do this exactly on this day because this fits all her wonderful, creative, and epic program she's offering. And so, welcome, Hritika.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
That's so great you are joining us today. I would love to ask you, could you please introduce yourself?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much first to have me here. This is my first live talk. I'm very excited to be here. If I talk about myself, my name is Hritika Bhagat. I'm from a very small town from central part of India named Shujalpur. It's been an amazing journey of my life. And as we are talking about art today, art therapy, so art did change my life completely because that was the only thing which was consistent in my life.
Wow.
So this is me. I live in Bangalore. I have a startup named Quality Compliance Private Limited, wherein we help pharmaceutical companies and medical devices companies in their regulatory requirement like CGMP, remediation, validation, due diligence, and some more.
Okay, so this sounds like you are an artist and you are in the corporate world as well. So
Absolutely.
how come? So this seems like really two different areas, almost two opposite areas to me. So an artist and someone who is in the corporate world. So how come that you just feel well in both of these areas, or is there a connection?
Oh, absolutely. I think my life revolved around art, and whatever decision I've made until today were somewhere related with art.
Oh,
So if I talk about like a story, how it all these things happen. So I always wanted to learn art, but I knew that I have to finish my education. So I did my graduation. I waited, then I finished my post graduation. I worked for a year, and then I felt, okay, this is the time. So luckily, I got an opportunity to work, to study in a school named Kalakshetra, which is one of the very renowned institute of
wow.
Bharatanatyam, music and art. And I got that place transformed me completely in terms of not only art, I learned values there. I learned a lot of things there, which is more related with, the heritage and culture of India.
Mm-hmm.
So that was an amazing journey. And once I finished the course, I felt so good. I felt happy. And that was the time when I have to decide whether I want to be an artist or like, pursue a career as an artist, or I want to go back to management, which is again my second love.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the time I was thinking, I was like so much confused, and I've decided to do an introspection. And from somewhere, like I'm not a hotel management graduate, from somewhere I've decided that, hotel is the best place for me to work. One thing, you can always find art around, and they are beautiful. They are inspired by one or the other thing. And you meet people too, because I'm a people person.
Yeah.
So that happens, but I had no clue how to approach to hotels because I had no degree. You won't believe, from nowhere, I got a call from one of the very prestigious hotel in the country. I would say finest hotel in the country.
Wow.
And I have no clue what am I gonna do there. The moment I entered the hotel, I was like, this is what I want to do. I don't care what job they're gonna give me, but I am gonna work here. So that's how my hospitality journey started. And I excelled. I did very well, although it was stressful, but I never felt any stress. I was enjoying challenges. I was enjoying the alertness and everything. And then again, there was another decision I've taken, that I want to go back to art, because there is a time when you need some space. So I left the hotel and I went to Pondicherry to pursue art again for a few months, like a gap. And then I was in Pondicherry for some time, then came back to Bangalore and joined the same company. And later I
Mhm.
got an opportunity to work with an international chain, and there I excel. So whatever I've learned in 2 3 years, I used there. I created a strategy which was like amazing. I had a lot of fun. It was more brain exercise, and I did very well. But there was one thing which always was there in my head, that how am I able to do things which I never did it before? What is that attitude which makes me to do all these things which normally people
Yeah.
don't think? So I started researching on myself. So it took some time, but then recently, one day, like few years back, one day I decided to upgrade my art.
Mhm.
That was the time when it was need to be upgraded. And I get to know about art therapy when I started reading history about it, case studies about it, and I was like, wow, this is what is happening with me. So art therapy actually helped me to build up my character, my attitude in a great way, because that was the only thing consistent with me from the day when I decided to go to the school,
Yeah.
and even today.
So this sounds
So
like the transformation through art happened without you consciously knowing it, but you
absolutely,
consistently transformed through the power of art. And
absolutely,
then you learned the background when you heard about art therapy.
absolutely.
Right.
So it was like 360-degree approach at the
Yeah.
end of the day. Then I know, oh,
Yeah.
okay, this is what is happening.
Yeah. So you had yourself this experience of the power and the
Absolutely.
transformational power of art. And
Yes.
so, as we talked about how this interview should be named, it is the healing power of art on
Absolutely.
Mental Health Day. So, what can I expect from when you say the healing power of art? What does this mean to you? What do you mean by this?
One thing is, whenever when we talk about anything, we have a very planned life. In general, we plan
Yeah,
our day, plan, like, not the micromanagement, macro management, that we have to get up, we have to go to the office,
yeah,
come back, do, eat, sleep. So this is like a normal core which we do every day.
yeah.
So what happens is, when I was noticing this, I was like, no, this is not something which everyone should do. They should pursue their passion or do something uh, apart from planning. There should be some spontaneous activity too.
Yes,
So there are two ways. So one, there are people who planned everything, but if everything goes wrong, anything goes wrong, they get upset or they get stressed out.
sure.
And there are another set of people who do everything spontaneous, and then they get lost because they don't know what to do next. they they,
Right.
they don't have any pattern. So when I was thinking about art therapy as a therapy, I have realized it's a balanced act, wherein you, so if you meditate, so
Mm-hmm.
meditation, you need to focus on your mind. You're relaxing your mind.
Yeah.
And when you're exercising, you're relaxing your body in one way. But again, there's no balance between
Mm-hmm.
mind and body. So when we talk about art, art has a power wherein it helps you not only physical health, it also helps you in mental health as well. So because you're using a pen and
Yeah.
doing any activity. And there's another thing which has been said by some of the scientists, that when we draw from unconscious, and whatever we draw, it comes from like very deep within us. So that was amazing. I said, this is something very real. And I wanted to know whether it actually works or not, because it worked for me, but I don't know if it worked for others too. So I started taking workshops, and you won't believe, I got amazing feedback and comments. People even said that they feel liberated, they felt relief, they let go their limiting beliefs.
I
They know
believe.
that how they can get rid of some of the attitudes which they
Yeah.
don't want in life.
Yeah.
So you can imagine like how amazing it could be. Uh, and how we do it is a very simple exercise. I would like you to experience it
Yeah,
actually right
I
now.
just, Ritika, I just had, this is funny because I just thought there are so many parallels to my soul art where I let people connect with their deepest body wisdom and
Yeah.
they get tangible steps for the next, the next step
Hmm.
they want to go. And so I just heard so many similarities, but now I am curious. What do you do? Maybe this is totally different from what I do. And if you offer me an exercise, I would be, I would love to do
You're
this.
gonna love it. So I'm gonna put a timer. I want you to close your eyes for 2 minutes,
Do I
okay?
need
And all the
anything?
viewers, whoever is watching us, close your eyes for 2 minutes and watch the number of thoughts. I just want a number, okay?
I have
And
to
your time starts.
count them.
Count the thoughts. That's it,
Okay.
okay? So your time starts now. You can slowly open your eyes. Tell
Yeah.
me the number. How many thoughts
So
you got?
I don't know if I caught all of them. So, but
Tell
the
me the
ones
number.
I really caught 18.
Wow, that's good. So now you have 18 thoughts in 2 minutes. So let's say now, do you have a pen and a paper?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
I'm going to tell you what you have to do. So I'm giving you another 2 minutes. Okay. You have to close your eyes again, but use pen on a paper
Mm-hmm.
here. Okay. And you
Mm-hmm.
have to scribble something like this. Okay. But you have to close your eyes.
Yeah.
Okay. You can do anything you want, whatever you feel like. It's called scribbling. So this
Okay.
is what you have to do for the next 2 minutes. All right.
Okay. Okay.
Ready? Close your eyes.
I don't count anything. I just scribble.
You can try.
Yeah.
You can
Okay.
try.
Okay.
You can do that. Count your thoughts again. Okay.
Yeah.
But do this. All
Okay.
right. Ready?
Ready.
Start. can open your eyes.
Wow.
Now tell me how many thoughts you got.
So I really tried to count them. And so when you turned on the music, I thought, she's turning on music. This was one thought. And then there was one thing, maybe, will I paint in the center of it, or do I paint on the table? This was another thought.
Okay.
And maybe a third one, I don't know, but maybe 3.
But if you notice, all the 3 are related with present.
Yeah.
So there was nothing which came into your head which has something to do like even an hour before. So that is
Right.
the power of art therapy, that it makes you to enjoy your present. And meditation happened is a ultimate form of meditation. The best meditation is when you can keep your mind empty and live in the present. So what we do in meditation, we try to keep our head empty, or mind to stop for a moment. I call it thought factory.
Yeah.
So we have a thought factory here, and mind is the process. So what I do is, through art therapy, I just tell, okay, thoughts, you have to wait, and let brain have some rest, in short. So when we stop thinking, that was the time when our brain heals, and that is called natural neuroplasticity.
Right.
And on an average, we get 50 to 60,000 thoughts every day, and 50 to 60 stress responses every day. So we cannot get rid of stress even if we meditate, but we can manage it well. So art, because we are using a mental and a physical together, so it gives it's an ultimate exercise for mindfulness.
Yeah, this was so easy, but so amazing. I knew this before, but I never did such an exercise before. And so what came to my mind right now, Hritika, if people who are really stressed, and they are suggested to do some meditation every day, just for 10 to 15 minutes, they will sit there, and it is what about my hair, what about my husband, what about my work, what about this, I have to do this and this. And when they turn into creativity, they will really get out of their head. And so I knew this before, but I'm so grateful for this easy exercise. Everyone should try this out at home.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's my mission. That's why we are here.
Wow.
Art is a very important activity. And there's one more thing which I would like to talk about, that art is the only subject. Actually, it's not a subject. It's a way. I would say it's a way of life, or it's something which is ours. We all are unique. And what we do is shows our uniqueness. In fact, in this scribbling, you can find your own story. If you look at it for 10 minutes, so these are the exercises I make all the attendees and participants do, and they actually find stories of their own life in just simple scribbling. And another thing why I want to talk about this, that not people, I would say parents, especially it's for the parents, they think that art is a no-brainer activity, but it's so important for children, for their physical development, for their emotional development, for their cognitive development, because this is how they learn the differences among each other. Your math, science, everything is all equal. Everyone study what is been already there. The content is already there, right? That's what we are studying. But art is something which makes us different. Everyone has different way of, talking or expressing themselves. So it's like a visual communication for them. And they also start to learn to be brave. And this is applicable to adults as well. So when we are on the paper, it's just plain. It makes us to go into unknown, which we don't know what's going to happen after we scribble. But once we have whatever scribble we have done, we can find something in that. That is amazing. Again, it creates an attitude of finding happiness or finding opportunities from the limited resources we have. And that's what I always worked on.
This is so great, because everybody can scribble. And
Absolutely.
because adults often say, I'm not an artist, I can't do this, I can't, no, there is the empty paper, I can't even start. But
Yeah.
scribbling lets them go of the outcome
Yeah.
and dive into the process. So, and for the kids, I totally agree with you. But one thing that is really bad, that so I come from the teaching world. I have been working as a teacher for 17 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know that at schools, I don't know if you made this experience too, children often are told that they have to paint in exactly that way, and this is not
Yeah.
correct, and they have to stay inside this frame. And so I don't agree with this at all. I would love them to be overly creative, express
Absolutely.
themselves.
So I
And
want, yeah,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. So, so I just wanted to ask you, but if you wanted to share something related to
Yes,
this, surely
absolutely.
you
I want
just
to.
go ahead.
I'll tell you one thing, which as a corporate person, I feel, this is my feeling. I'm not sure whether it's true or not, but I think when you feel it's your beliefs or your experiences, what we talk about. So I did a session with the 100 plus teachers, principals, and I told them the same thing, that art is a no-brainer activity. And actually, the session was meant that for the teachers, so that they understand that art is not about making anything beautiful, and it should not be competitive. This is the way wherein children can release their tensions. They have a lot of stress we don't understand. If your
Yes.
child is cranky, or if he doesn't listen to you, or if they do anything which is not normal, that means they're going through stress. And art is a great way. The more they do art, the more relaxed they feel,
Yeah.
the more smarter they get. That's one thing. Apart from that, after like 7th or 8th grade, we start telling our kid not to focus on any kind of art. Focus on your science, math, or any subjects which makes you to get into the best universities or best colleges, so that you can get high paying jobs. Absolutely fine. But what happens once you get a job? In job, corporate or the companies expect you to be creative, to be innovative. Now, when a child who never been creative after 7th standard, suddenly you want that person to be creative.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
Yeah.
And that's why most of the corporate people are stressed out, because they never express themselves very well. There's
Yeah.
no medium for them to be, feel happy about themselves. If
Yeah.
people who does art or any kind of art, I'm not talking about only art therapy, if they pursue their hobby all the time, they feel that's the only thing where they can be spontaneous, they can be vulnerable, they can express themselves. But we even take that opportunity from the kid, and that is really bad.
Yeah.
Which
And
is not good.
we give grades and we discourage them. So
Absolutely.
I think this
And
is fine. It is a no-brainer. It is a stress reliever. It
yes,
is a creativity booster. It is
absolutely.
transforming, and it is healing. Did I miss something out? So I
And
think,
art is evolving, because
yeah,
every time you make art, you evolve with it.
yeah,
Even if you try it today, also today it will be something, tomorrow it will be different,
yeah,
third day it will be different. And this is also one of the testimony which we give it to our subconscious mind, that we can do it because we have seen patterns in our artwork.
yeah.
So it actually boosts confidence, courage, it makes us fearless. I think there was a time when I was not drawing. I wanted to, but I had no clue how to draw it. I also
Mm-hmm.
have this assumption that until you learn, or then also, or it has to be beautiful. I had this notion,
Yeah, I
art
know.
has to be beautiful. So that was the only thing which made me to go to an art school. And when I went to art school, I have realized it's not about beauty.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is beautiful. It's all about how you express it.
Yeah,
And then I took mind as a beauty. So my topic is aesthetics of mind. So I believe our mind is beautiful if we make it beautiful. It's all about how you process your thoughts.
yeah.
the,
So,
the way you process your thoughts, you will get amazing emotions. Could be in the form of courage, could be in the form of fearless, could be in the form of can-do attitude. Lot of attitude can be developed just a simple 20-minute exercise of art. So
Yeah.
I mean, this is amazing.
Yeah, this is amazing. And so I wonder what you do. So do you only, not to make it like minor, do you only do scribbling? And then what do you do with the art when you scribble? Do you have any examples to show to people who are watching?
So I actually started with I'll tell you what art therapy is, the
Yeah,
definition of art
yeah,
therapy. In art therapy, we don't focus on the outcome.
yeah,
We don't
super.
focus about the accomplishment. What we focus on is we should involve ourselves in that art making process, even if it's scribbling. You can use, there are different techniques. I'm going to tell you in a little bit. So you should get involved in that art making process and enjoy the efforts. Don't worry about the outcomes, you know? So don't think about what he gonna say, she gonna say. No, it's your art and it's your masterpiece. We
Yeah.
are not making masterpiece for anyone else. That's one. In art therapy techniques, we talk about the basic techniques called mandala. There are Zentangles. So I started with mandala. I started
Mm-hmm.
teaching mandala initially. Then I moved to Zentangles. Then I started teaching Zandalas. Then I started teaching normal. I have created my own exercises slowly,
Mm-hmm.
steadily for different attitudes. And then I've realized scribbling was always I always loved doing scribbling, with different colors, especially. So I've realized that scribbling is the most powerful art therapy exercise, because here you need not to learn anything. Those exercises were more for being focused, more mindful, but again, you need some training for it. But scribbling, you don't need training, it comes straight from your unconscious
Yeah.
imagery. So that is amazing. So then I decided that this is what is a great way to release our tension. But then I've created another exercise in the scribbling wherein you look for the spaces and find something out of it. And there's another process for art therapy is to express. So once you start expressing your art, it takes you to a different level, because when you speak, it's
Yeah.
different. Maybe you speak 2 words today, tomorrow it will be 3, and then 4, and then 5, then sentence, then paragraphs. Then you can even do a speech on just one piece of art. So it also develop it helps you in your social life. So if you have fear of public speaking, or if you have
Mm.
fear of presentation, or if you have fear of not telling someone because someone feel good or bad and you are suffering, so these kind of exercise helps you to be more expressive, first to yourself, and once you adopt those habits, you start being expressive to others as well.
Yeah.
So it's a great exercise for self expressions. And again, if we talk about the relationships we have around us, whether it's family, friends, we are not very expressive. We don't express ourselves. We expect
All the
the
time. Yeah.
person to understand. I
Yeah.
don't understand this concept. If you want something, just tell that person. How can you imagine that someone will get into your head or mind and will understand what you
Yeah.
want? It's very
Yeah.
difficult. So people don't express, they just expect. And that kills relationship.
Yeah. And
Expectation.
expectation is not a good thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I just was looking at my scribbling and I will work on this. So it looks like
Oh,
this now.
oh wow, this is so good. I like
Yeah.
it. This
So
is
I will have to look at all the spaces in between and I will work on this for sure.
absolutely. Let me show you some of my scribbling
Yeah.
exercises. So
Looks
this is
totally
how I do
different.
it. I use more of colors because I like colors, and I study, I work on color psychology.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on my mood. If I'm low or high, whatever, accordingly I choose. But mostly I choose white, yellow, orange more, because
Mm-hmm.
white is the color of peace, orange is the color of excitement. It always keeps you,
Yeah.
go getter. Let's do this, that. And yellow is the color of happiness. Green is the color of calmness. So I use
Mm-hmm.
these colors to train my brain that this is how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
So when my thoughts are getting processed, I'm getting those thoughts. So it has nothing to do what is here, but what is important is here, what you have done. So I release my tension like this or whatever, like, because we get 50 stress responses every day and we have to do something about it. So
Yeah.
this is what I do, and then I look at the spaces and fill it up. So
Yeah.
that is more of a meditative exercise.
Ah,
This is another one. Then this is another one. This is my this week's work. So I do at
uh-huh.
least one small work every day to keep me going. I have diaries as well, which I've maintained. So this is another scribbling which I've
Really
done.
interesting way of,
Simple scribbling.
yeah,
And you can make so many things out of scribbling. You can, so I talk to my work every day, what I'm feeling, what is that to me,
mhm,
what is excitement to me, what do you mean by peace to me today. So
yeah,
when we talk to ourselves, it's easy for us to talk to anyone else, even so we become a little detail oriented doing
yeah.
this exercise.
And do you offer this for local people, or do you do it online, or can people attend a class with you? And yeah.
So I started with offline initially before pandemic.
Hmm.
And once the pandemic hit, everything becomes online. But I must tell you, online is more fun and people are more open because nobody's watching their drawing.
Yeah,
We still get scared what
yeah,
he or she will think about my drawing. So I think online platform is being real good. They do their work and then they show it and then they express it. So
mhm,
they feel so good. They felt relieved. They felt liberated. They feel relaxed, and so many of them actually following it every day. So it's amazing, and especially it's in this pandemic there's so many people who are out of jobs
yeah,
or somewhere in the isolation. uh, there are a lot of issues as well, but the important thing is to take care of ourselves because we cannot change the outside
mm,
condition control. We can't control the external
yeah,
environment, but we can control ourselves. We can this is the time to introspect and to understand and keep us just grounded until everything goes get normal.
yeah,
It's like just save yourself once the cyclone is over. So that is important to keep ourselves
yeah.
mentally and physically fit. Once
And
it's gone, we are back to work.
it's an opportunity, because so
Absolutely.
maybe not everybody can or wants to hear this, but this is an opportunity to turn inwards and to reflect and to have some time for yourself.
Absolutely. I think so many
Yeah,
people have utilized it. They
yeah,
understood it because it was a forced isolation
yeah,
done by the nature. So many things happened, positive,
yeah,
negative. But people evolve. I
yeah,
think difficulties teach us more than successes. And these
yeah,
experiences make us what we are today.
yeah. And so, how can people join you online? Is there a platform, or are you
So I
offering something soon?
So I will be doing one live workshop pretty soon next week for one for the offline LinkedIn community. Plus, right now I'm doing more of group events, which is more on invitation. I'll be happy to do more offline courses, and I'm doing it for free. I started
Mhm.
doing it paid, but then I've realized that we need such activities. It should reach to more people. I feel that art activity can change people's life. Art can bring peace,
Yeah,
and I think I am trying to be one of the change maker who is promoting art as a part of their life. Like we have dining table where we eat every day without fail. I
yeah,
think we should have a small corner wherein we should keep one drawing book and a pen. And whoever comes home and feeling unhappy or whatever, any negative feeling, they should go and scribble at the best
yeah,
until they feel good, and that will create harmony in the family, because if they don't release tension somewhere, they are doing
yeah,
it on their own family members, and which is hampering their relationship.
yeah,
That's why today's relationships are very fragile. We don't
yeah.
express,
And
or we express with wrong people.
I totally agree. I think you are a big change maker, and this is so generous that you are offering this for free. So I think I
Thank
would
you.
suggest leaving something where people can reach you, like your email address or your
Absolutely.
website or something, below this interview video.
Okay, will do.
And yeah, so you talked about happiness, and I wanted to share this with the audience, because when we met today, I told you, I think you are one of the happiest and brightest people I've ever met. And so I think maybe this is also because of the art, but I think everybody can just by joining you and working with you, this is really a gift, because it is, yeah, it is like it jumps, even if we are so far apart from each other. I really take it with me, your happiness, when we talk. So this is fantastic.
Thank
And
you so much.
yeah,
Thank you,
I,
Patricia.
I
I
want
felt
to thank
overwhelmed.
you for this beautiful interview.
I have
And
one more thing to say
yeah,
before we close the
sure.
interview. When we stress out, what happens to our body? This is very important. Not many people knows about it, that our body releases chemicals, whether it's a stress response
Yeah,
or happy response. So what happens when we get, like we talked about, on an average we get 50 stress responses.
yeah,
So every stress response releases a chemical called cortisol, which makes us unhappy. Okay, the more the cortisol, the more you will feel grumpy, low, sad, and we need to manage this. So if we have this feeling that we are not feeling good or low, that means our cortisol level is high and we need to reduce it. How we can reduce it? Using art as a therapy. If we just do art, close your eyes, just do your scribbling, it will help you to release another chemical called serotonin. Serotonin is released when we feel calm, when we feel happy. Um, uh, all the positivity which comes to us, we release the serotonin. When we
yeah,
exercise, we release endorphins. So these chemicals are very important to reduce cortisol. So always remember, if you have this, you're not feeling good, it's because your cortisol is high and you need to do something about it. Meditate. I know it's very difficult to close our eyes and do it. Just take a pen, scribble, or just paint whatever color you have, or or sing, or just sing, or
yeah,
dance, or do something. Don't worry about what people will say or not say. Just do something. So this is what I wanted to share, that cortisol is the reason we feel unhappy, and there's a solution to it. And when the cortisol level goes up and up, we we have diseases like depression, we have hypertension, we have high blood pressure, we have heart disease. It all happens because of the
yeah,
stress. Our heart pumps so faster. When we stressed out, it makes our whole body work function faster, and
yeah,
which deregulates the whole system. So it's important that we should slow down sometime, maybe at least 15 to 20 minutes a day. And you already learn what you can do to slow down your whole body, and it will also helps you to improve your immune system. It's a art therapy. 15-minute art therapy is a great way to boost great mental and physical health, because not everyone exercise every day,
yeah.
but we can
And
always draw whenever
and
wherever we are.
you are the best example for happiness because you're doing art every day. So we have the proof that it
Yeah.
works. What you just said so beautifully. And so, yeah, like really an expert in this area. You are the proof that it really works. You are a good example that it really works because we
It
can
does.
see your happiness.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I totally agree with everything you said. And so there are so many, yeah, uh, points that resonate with my work and with what I do. And I just made up my mind. I can share it here as well. I'm going to offer a 5-day free challenge next week in another group I have. And it's about being unblocked and unstoppable. And unstoppable, I have to make this clear, does not mean being the one who always pushes forward without stopping. Unstoppable to me means making pauses, making creative pauses, relax, working with the natural cycles to be even more productive, but even more healthy. And I'm going to share 5 sessions for free for all the people who are interested in getting unblocked, releasing all the tension they have stored in their body, through art and other things I will offer, and to become unstoppable, but not stressed, right? Yeah, so.
Please join Patricia. You're going to have fun.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think this will be a wonderful party, an intimate party, because I think it is nice to know all the people who join and to be able to react to them and not make it a 500 people party. I'm looking forward to doing this. And again, I want to thank you so much for all the insights, for sharing your work and your knowledge and your happiness.
Thank you.
And yeah, I hope to meet you soon somewhere. And I hope that lots of people were inspired by what you said and what you did. And
Thank
yeah,
you so much.
feel free to contact Hritika and do some scribbling and doodling and artwork, because she's really amazing.
I
All
actually
right.
created life coaching, like life coaching program using art as a therapy, and it's in pilot right now, but I can see good results. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
Then I will be able to actually transform people's lives, and
Yeah.
not me. They will themselves will transform their own lives using their own intuition, using their own energies. That's gonna be amazing, and I look forward to see the results pretty
Super.
soon.
Yeah, I'm wishing you the best for this
Thank you.
project, and wishing you a beautiful evening. It is evening already?
Yes, it's 8:16 in India right now, PM.
Okay, and wishing everybody a beautiful weekend and a good time. Hope to see you soon. Sending out so much love, and bye for now.
Thank you. Bye. Happy World Mental Health Day. Take care
Bye.
of mental being. Thank you, Patricia.